Good. Hello. Oh. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, hello. This is Ronald Couming from RCS Technology Solutions. You're listening to the Internet Marketing and Business Solution Radio Show. Just thought we had a little technicality there. The purpose of this show basically is to help businesses with actionable tips and strategies to increase your internet marketing and your overall business performance. At times, we will be talking about internet marketing related things, such as Section 3 I've dedicated to an educational section. Then also Section 2 and 1 are guests. Our guests will be structured around giving out actionable tips that can help you improve as a person and in business in life. Happiness and overall success is a collection of several different things. So, I'm being told that my headphone connection isn't too good.
I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect.
Sometimes, all right, we'll talk off air.
Okay, off air. Jenna, are you online?
Can you hear me?
Excellent. But first I want to introduce you, okay? I just wanted to make sure. We had a little technical difficulty to start the show, my part, not the show's, the station's part. Anyhow, our first guest up will be Jenna Phillips Ballard, calling in from La Jolla, California, San Diego area. She is a total wellness philosopher. She began her career 10 years ago as a certified personal trainer and life coach for celebrities and has been featured on Dr. Phil and the Doctors. She's committed to redefining what it means to be a millionaire or a billionaire, and this will depend on the millions or billions of lives we touch, enhance, and improve as an army of thought leaders. She is a transformational coach. This bio is never going to do her any justice. I've been listening to her. Let me just tell you, instead of reading something off the web, let me tell you what my thing is. I started listening to her quite a while ago, and her thoughts and her Thursday nights at 10 o'clock, she does at 10 o'clock our time, Eastern time, 7 o'clock her time. She does a thought, and I'm going to let her talk about this. Jenna, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you for the introduction, Ronald. It's so great to be here. So the videos that you're speaking of are my train of thought videos, and I do them every single week, every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock. So it's a way for me to be raw and vulnerable, because I used to do edited videos every single week, but I really enjoy being authentic and raw and vulnerable. And I typically speak about events that I'm experiencing or certain things that I'm navigating through, but it's just a really great way for me to connect with my followers.
Yeah, and to me, I think it's incredible that you have made this commitment and you're there every single week, minus one, and that's when you were doing an event that maybe you'll speak about later if you're so inclined.
Sure.
When did you first experience the power of positive mindset?
When I first experienced the power of positive mindset, I would say when I was 17 years old, I was in a head trauma accident, and to kind of give that a little context, at that time in my life, I was 17, I had one semester left of high school, and I was experiencing pretty severe depression, and I spent a lot of time thinking about and questioning if I had any friends, if people actually cared about me. And so I also spent a lot of time actually wishing that I could witness my own funeral, which was a pretty dark thing to think about at the age of 17, and I really contributed a lot of my energy into that thought. And so I really got to the point of actually realizing that I wasn't ready to die, didn't want to die, but I wished that I could be in some kind of an accident so that people could come to my funeral. And so that was also a very dark thought, but I really did spend a lot of time thinking about it and focusing my energy on it. And sure enough, I was actually in an accident. I completely, for lack of a better word, manifested my accident. And I was decorating for a party with a bunch of my friends on my property. And I was walking backwards, and I ran out of floor. I was in a hayloft, and I was decorating the hayloft, and I was walking backwards, ran out of floor, and I fell 14 feet, landed on my head on concrete. And I was instantly unconscious. I don't remember falling at all. I have no recollection of that. But I was in the hospital and was in a coma. So it was something that I later realized that I completely asked for it, wanted to have it happen, and created it. So I really understood the power of manifestation, the power of mindset. And so when I was in the hospital, the doctors were warning my parents, basically setting them up for me to not wake up from my coma. They didn't think I was going to wake up, and it wasn't looking good for me. And they told my parents that I was going to have brain damage. It was going to be permanent. It was going to be very challenging for me to recover from it. And luckily, by the grace of a miracle, I woke up the next day from my coma, and doctors were totally shocked. It was a miracle.
That is an amazing story, and the world is better off for you waking up as well. And one of the things I remember, I was recently at an event, and Richard Branson was speaking, and he had talked about that great change comes from necessity or inconvenience or pain, and it sounds like you definitely fit one or more of those categories.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that I really support people that I work with, students and clients, and also people who are connected to the content that I provide every single day online. That I'm an advocate for turning our pain into our purpose, or pain into our platform, and I believe that we've all experienced pain in our lives, on some level, one level or another. And so this was a very painful experience for me, and it was mentally painful, it was emotionally painful, physically painful, but it really gave me purpose in my life. And I realized from this whole experience that I was not only meant to share my story with people, but also teach others how to navigate through pain and have it support them. And the biggest piece about this story was, when I woke up, I had no short-term memory. I lost the majority of my vocabulary. I wasn't able to put my thoughts into words. And so it was a very challenging time for me, because at that point in my life, speaking, creative writing, self-expression was strength for me. So it then became my weakness. And I remember after about a week or so and first of all, there was standing room only. I mean, people were coming in from all over the country, people from school, students. I mean, there was so much love and support that I felt and received from this experience, that it kind of like I got this validation that I was looking for. I was really desiring this connection and feeling and really wanting to know that my life was important, and I didn't feel like it was. So I got a lot of validation. I mean, flowers and balloons and cards, banners. My whole room was decorated from students at school. And I just felt so much love and support throughout this whole transition. And I remember having a meeting with my doctor and my mom, who this doctor was painting the worst picture possible, didn't want to give us false hope, but he was saying to my mom, we really don't think that she's going to be able to graduate from high school on time. She's a senior. She's got only a few months left, and we really, really want to support her by making sure that she transitions in the best way. And so while I know that he was looking out for me in the best way that he knew how, I felt so unempowered. I wasn't encouraged. I was discouraged in that moment. And I remember having this sensation in my body, Ronald, in that moment that I will never forget. And it was this core sensation. I just knew. I was like, who is this guy? He's telling me I can't do something. And it just made me want to do it even more. And I remember in that moment feeling like, yes, I am going to graduate on time. And that mindset shift in that moment forever changed my life. And I did graduate on time. I wound up going back to school, and I applied myself, and I was committed. And the biggest part about that was I experienced this new level of self-love and knowing that I could do anything, because I knew it was up to me. It wasn't up to anyone else. So that became a destiny.
I love it. And that type of self-powerment, too. I mean, truthfully, our destiny is a result of our choices. We're free to choose. There are a lot of things
Absolutely.
in our lives. We could be born in projects, born, with a lot of different things slowing us down, but it's the choices that we make that will define our future. And that mindset, I love it, that positive mindset that you project and that you have, and also that failure is not an option. I mean, there are definitely there are definitely people who excel because of their mental mindset. And in business and in life, if people can tap into that mindset, and get away from a lot of the negative self-talk and the things and the associations, whatever it is that is keeping us down, whether it's the people in our lives telling us that we can't do it. To me, that compels me even further, and it makes me want to distance myself from those people and surround myself with more positive and future-orientated. And you talk about being on a mission, and you actually have a website called I'mOnAMission.com, and you also have the Ascension Leadership Academy, and this will tremendously help people in business and in life. Could you please enlighten the listeners a little bit about what you do and how you help people?
Absolutely. So just really quickly, my career began about 11 years ago. I was a celebrity trainer and life coach for many years, and I was featured on, as you mentioned, Dr. Phil and the Doctors, and really enjoyed that experience and that process. But I really felt like my purpose was much bigger than that, because even though it was glamorous and it was fun and it was interesting, and I got to travel all over the world, I really felt like my even bigger calling, my bigger purpose was to support the masses, like support people in a really powerful way, because I realized that my calling was to support leaders and being effective with their messaging, to be effective with their leadership. So I really took it upon myself to discover different ways of empowering leaders and supporting leaders. And I realized that, the bigger calling with that was to support them in their ways of being, to support them in how they show up as leaders and how their messaging affects people all over the world. So I discovered the world of transformation, personal development, and that's been my life for, basically the last 5 years. And my husband and I, and by the way, it's our 1-year anniversary today, so I'm very excited about that.
Wow, and you're spending it with us on the radio, too. First of all, congratulations.
And my life is all about creating win-wins all around. So it's our 1-year anniversary today. We're very, very excited and happily in love. We moved to La Jolla about, I want to say 6 months ago, to bring Ascension Leadership Academy to San Diego, because this is really powerful work. It's experiential trainings. It supports people in mastering their relationship, mastering their ways of being. So if people want to be better public speakers, they can access that. So ultimately, there are a lot of different kinds of breakthroughs that are available for people in our trainings and in our curriculum. And we offer 4 months of curriculum that support people in breaking through their fears, getting past their self-judgments, their self-doubt, their self-loathing, and really supports people in transitioning through, forgiveness, letting go of the past and moving forward. And then we support them also in a 3-month process where they create like a whole list of everything they want to accomplish in their life. And then we support them in making sure that they get that done, and they apply the ways of being that are required for success. So confidence, inspiration, empowerment, so really causing cause in the world. And so it's a really powerful process, and we're just so happy to be here, and we've been received very well by San Diego, and it's just we're living our purpose every day.
I love it, path and purpose, and staying on focus and path and purpose. I've been doing a lot of different programs, and I too am in the self-development world, and also my company is business development, and bringing people like you helps my guests and on the show, but also the people I work with become better in business and better in life. I don't want to quote the Bible or something, but if you gain the world, if you gain a ton of money, but you don't have any mental and emotional peace, or your business life is doing great, but your personal life is in turmoil and upheaval, there's no balance. And I think that's kind of like what you help people with, to have that balance where they can be more successful in business, but also in their personal life as well.
Absolutely. And, I know a lot of really successful people, and a lot of people kind of in this world, in this transformation, personal development world, who I know on like a personal level, and I see who they're being on on the surface, on the professional level, and it doesn't line up. Like the two don't match. The music doesn't match the lyrics, and so something that I'm committed to being as a leader is someone who is consistently being the way that I am in my videos, in the same way that I am in relationship with people. So something that I consistently hear from people is like, wow, you're the same in real life as you are in your videos. And that's something that I'm committed to being authentic and real and raw and vulnerable and also being a stand for others to be that as well. So something that I don't tolerate is having like this dual personality, and I experience that a lot in the internet world, is that people kind of have like these two different personalities. So that's something that I'm committed to being with everybody is authentic and real, and also standing for people to be that for themselves and also for the world as well.
Yeah, I saw that post you just put up about being authentic and having integrity in everything you do. And as I was reading that, I firmly believe that. But being from Boston, the way I would have processed it, I would have just said, what doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Look, anything done outside of integrity, there's no way for it to have any staying power. And something that I'm very clear about is, there are a lot of people who like to go for the shortcut, or they like to do what seems easy. But, when we are truly living our purpose and truly committed to serving the world, I mean, the best life is a life of service. And that's who I'm committed to being for the rest of my life is someone who is in service to others and making sure that they're living their best life. So, I really stand for people to be their best selves, and that's something that actually comes out in our training. Something that comes up is like people take a hard look at who they're being. They take a hard look at their level of integrity, their level of authenticity, and it sometimes is very confrontive for a lot of people because in my experience, the majority of people are living behind a mask. They're not willing to really own who they are, and who people actually authentically are beautiful, incredible, powerful, confident human beings. I mean, that's who we really are. And it's in the experiences that we have as we're coming into our adulthood, or we're becoming conscious beings, or we have an awareness that we have experiences, and we create interpretations, and we create stories, and then we have ways of protecting ourselves so we don't experience pain or heartbreak or loss ever again. And that's the stuff that actually has us not be our authentic self. So that's something that I'm committed to being for this world is showing people that they can be safe being their authentic selves, and they get to actually feel freedom in that.
Yeah, and one of the things I've noticed, two things. One is about being authentic. I've been going to a lot of different groups over the years, and one of the main things, like when I listen to somebody that is a speaker, and I'm going to another one in San Fran where I'm going to actually be speaking from the stage there as well on internet marketing. But the other people who are there, I've listened to them previously, and the person who's putting it on, Eric Swanson, and I've listened to all them, and what stands out to me the most is their authenticity. I can feel the real, so to speak. You know what I mean? I can feel them, and you have to be real. Just like when you're doing your internet marketing, when you're doing your social media, it's all about the engagement. You don't just post stuff up. You engage with people. You be real, and people can feel that real. Also, one of the other things you said about servicing, being about service instead of, I know in my personal life, I have a lot of customers, but my customers almost tripled when I stopped focusing on the customer themselves and stopped focus on just that. When I decided that I wanted to just service people, when I started focusing on providing more benefits and value to my clients, and people could just see the genuineness, and like this show, I don't get paid, you're coming on, you're not getting paid, and it's just about delivering content, benefits, and value to people and how they can have a better life, be better, more productive in business. Is, overall, A, you feel better as a person, but B, your business and personal life's going to grow as well.
Absolutely. And, it's interesting because people always ask me how I've created the following that I have. And, I think I have a pretty decent following, and I'm grateful for the amount of people who follow me and engage with me. But I've never been a person about the numbers. Like I don't want to create width in my following. I want to create depth in my following. So people who follow me consistently share my postings. They consistently comment. They're always chiming in, and they watch my videos. They know that I'm coming on, and they kind of know my languaging. They understand who I am. They know my whole story. They know all about my head trauma accident, the recovery, the diagnosis of type 1 diabetes, which was also something that happened when I was in the hospital. So they know my story, and they know who I am. They know what I'm up to. They know all about Ascension Leadership Academy in San Diego. They know all about me because I share vulnerably and consistently. Like, the biggest thing is consistency, and also engaging with your audience, because my audience feels seen and understood by me. They know that I care about them. They know that and I know a lot of my audience, especially the ones who are consistently posting. But I also, look at everybody. I connect with their faces. I go on their profile. I look at what they're excited about, because it supports me in knowing which content to give to people, rather than just assuming that I automatically know what everybody needs and wants. And a very common thing that people comment on my post is like, I feel like you are in my head right now. Like you knew that I needed this. The timing is perfect. It's because I care about my followers and I have depth with them. Yeah. So that's really what has also given me staying power, because people they wonder how I get the views that I do on my videos, and it's just like, well, I mean, I don't pay for anything. I don't even invest in advertising. I just share what I share, and people come to me that way. I've never advertised for clients. It's just they reach out to me. They find me.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the truth. I'm not quite sure how I found you, but I know that first time that I heard you speaking, you resonated right off the bat. That's something that was going on with me. And as you were speaking, I typed it in. I was on Facebook Live, right? And you were just making the transformation from Facebook Live from Periscope, rather, to Facebook Live. And I was lucky enough to be there when you were. And I had something going on, and I just texted you and through Facebook Live, and you answered me almost immediately, and that's how I started with you. But right off the bat, you're right. I mean, at that time, and it was just by chance that I found your episode at that time, it just resonated with me, and I've been a loyal follower since. And everything you talk about at one point or another has helped me. Or I was leaving a networking event in Boston not too long ago, and somebody needed a ride home, so I was giving them a ride home, and she was going through some stuff, and I recommended to her that, because it was like 2 episodes ago that you were talking about some stuff that she was telling me about. So I recommended that she follow you on Facebook at Jenna Phillips Ballard on Facebook. You'll never be able to be a friend. She has way too many, but you can follow her, and you can get live. You can get the notifications that when she's doing things live every Thursday night at 7 o'clock our time here in Boston, 10 o'clock on the West Coast. But
the other way around. It's 7 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 o'clock your time.
Okay,
but yes, you got it.
And then if for some reason you can't, like there's been a couple of times that I couldn't listen, then I could just jump on the next day and catch it in the rerun. And still, when I put in a comment, you've always commented back.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. It's important to me that people don't feel like just a follower or just another person. Like I care so deeply about humans, and that's really consistent across all the kinds of work that I do. So the clients that I work with who are wanting to build a following online, or the clients that I work with who are transitioning through trauma. So there's a lot of different ways that I support people in getting on the other side, and a lot of that has to do with messaging, but also the work that I do in Africa. I've been to Africa a couple of times, and I've been to an orphanage in Mexico a few times to work with children who've been rescued from sex trafficking. Last year I went on a trip to Africa with a girlfriend of mine. Her name's Lexi Panos, and she's the founder of EPIC, and it stands for Everyday People Initiating Change. And she's been going to Africa for 10 years, and she builds clean water wells in Africa, and it's just a beautiful movement, something I'm so happy to be a part of. And it was my second time in Africa, but this is like my soul food. This is the stuff that keeps me going. This is the stuff that has me really feel like I'm living my purpose. So anytime I can get involved with a movement or be a part of something that's bigger than me, it's like brain candy. It's food. It's soul food for me.
I love it, Jenna. You truly are. You know, in life, you come across, you meet people, and you have some people who are there for, I don't know the exact saying, it's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Anybody who interacts with you is definitely going to want to be around you for a lifetime. We got about less than 2 minutes left. I want to make sure that you give your contact info, and you have this training session coming up in November on the 4th, I believe, 4th through the 6th.
Yes, yeah, we have trainings that begin every 6 to 8 weeks, and so our next one that's beginning it's actually the end of this month, September. It's totally sold out, completely full, and those spaces are filling up actually pretty quickly. So the next one does begin in November. So anyone who is listening who is interested and would like more information, you can go to our website, and I'll give you 2 different versions. So there's the long one, AscensionLeadershipAcademy.com. And then if you want a shortcut, which most people do, it's ALASanDiego.com. So the acronym for Ascension Leadership Academy is sandiego.com. Super easy to find us. You can also find us on Facebook, and you can reach out to me directly. You can reach me on Facebook, of course, Jenna Phillips Ballard. And then if you want to go to my website, my personal website, JennaPhillipsBallard.com.
Excellent. And I want to let all the listeners know that this episode, as all of our episodes, are archived. They're here on this website, WCAP 980 in Lowell, Massachusetts, and also they're on my website, rcstechnologysolutions.com. So you'll be able to listen to this episode again, and I will also be posting this episode in a few days, and Jenna, I'll be sending you an MP3 file for you to post or archive or do whatever you want with. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. You've been listening. Is there anything else you want to say in closing, Jenna, before I...
Yes, Ronald, I just want to acknowledge you for the work that you do and for having this radio show and for making a difference in the lives of people. And for anyone who's listening, I've had such a beautiful, warm exchange with you on Facebook, and really looking forward to not only supporting you and what you're up to in the world, but also being a partner in transformation on any level moving forward.
You're a rock star. I'm planning to come in November. I'm just working out the details because I have an event in Newport around the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then I can go to yours 4th, 5th, 6th, and then I'm speaking 10, 11, 12 in San Francisco. So I think I'm going to be spending a couple of weeks in San Francisco, in California in November.
I love it. You're my hero. I can't wait to connect with you in real life. So enjoy the rest of your day and have a great show. Excellent, and happy anniversary again. You've been listening to Ron Couming from RCS Technology Solutions on the Internet Marketing and Business Solution radio station at 980 WCAP.